This day 681 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. This week's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is sponsored by Nishmas Chana Feigo Baslai B'Shmeir and Yenta, who's on the yahrzeit this week. May the Neshama have an aliyah. Today we are doing Siman Tav Chaf, Sif Aleph, to Tav Chaf Beis, Sif Zayin. Too far here. Sorry. Dini Hesped Rosh Chodesh. Chasav Hesped in Rosh Chodesh. Aleph. Chasav Atur. The Rosh Chodesh also Hesped Rosh Chodesh. Now I like to make a Spain with none. But Rosh Chodesh, the Roshi Chodashim, Noshim Anos and Tapos. Rosh Chodesh women can do the process called Manos, the process called Metapos, which is Manos Kulim Anos Kachas. They all in unison bewail the dead. Metapos Kaf Kaf, and they can clap hands on each other. Avon Mekonos, they cannot say Kinos. And after the mace is buried, they cannot even be ma'aner or metapech. Mekinos is like responsive readings. One says and the other ones respond. It's unclear what he means. Is it specifically after the now to do hespedim, like there where it says that they're not manos and not metapchos? Avo kodem kvura mutar, but before kvura where they could be manos and metapchos, it's mutar make hespedim. Zima avkona kvura also maybe even before kvura is forbidden to hesped on mekonos, because hesped is like the higher madrega mekonos. Chaynira, that's what it seems to be. Shem the hesped gamkin a saftan omer marabechi. The saftan also the eulogizer says words, and he's arouses people to cry. Mekonos, and that's like mekonos. But if anybody says klum nidon hesped, he says does not mention hesped at all. I guess the substance of hesped. In front of shita shari, but for a chacham in front of the mace, it's permissible for sure. It's a mitzvah and obligation as well. Even they said ein chamoid b'fnei tam chacham. There's no such thing as a moed in front of for a tam when tam chacham was nifter. Kosh came Rosh Chodesh. I don't think the minhag is like that. I think people give speeches. They don't do true espedim even on Chol Hamoed or Rosh Chodesh. Base, being in Tziduk Hadin, so I'm saying the Tziduk Hadin, people worms and people maints had a machlekas. Abin says the person that means Tziduk Hadin Kaddish. He says you say both Tziduk Hadin and Kaddish. They ain't a king much because Rabbeinu Ramah, but the Ramah says not that way. Not just Rosh Chodesh. Doing Kol Yom Mishem Tachnun. All days don't say Tachnun. V'chein Erev Shabbos to Erev Yontiv Achar Chatzos. So the Erev Shabbos and Erev Yontiv after Chatzos after midday. Ain't no in Tziduk Hadin. We don't say the Tziduk Hadin. Mekadosh Kol Omar Amizah Tilim. So you say, but Kaddish you could say after Kapitel Tilim. V'chein that's me. That's Leinu. Shem Mizmor Mem Test. That's meaning by us. We say Mizmor the 49th Kapitel. And in Kaddish you say Kaddish. Miyubshita Adam Gadol Tziduk Hadin Tziduk Hadin B'Kaddish. It's partial that a great person you have to say Tziduk Hadin. And you have to say Kaddish. Because you can say Hesped from him as well. Take us up a tour. And they did that for the Ramah. At night, you don't see neither Tziduk Hadin nor Kaddish. If Shabbat says, specifically days when you don't say Tachnun, like Lag B'Omer, Tubav, Shai, those are not Moadim. But Rosh Chodesh, Chanukah, Purim, they mentioned in the Gemara. And therefore, he feels evidently he's more machmir about these minhagim on Rosh Chodesh about Tziduk Hadin and Kaddish. But he writes that even to a chacham before, and he writes even a chacham before of you don't Rosh Chodesh you don't see Tziduk Hadin because it's a supplication, but you expand upon him if he was suitable for a speech of some sort, and you say Kaddish after the drasha. Sharatzim writes that Chai Adam is not sure if within the drasha one is allowed to arouse lamentations and crying, because we don't really have time chacham in our day and age for this purpose. So Mishnah is much more machmir in terms of how to treat a time chacham even during Chol Moed and Rosh Chodesh. Mishnah also says bein hashmashos you can say Tziduk Hadin and Kaddish, not just that night. Tav Chaf Aleph Kriyas Roshei Chodesh Roshechem Pesukei de Zimra. Reading Roshei Chodshechem not as laning, but as in Pesukei de Zimra. Nolim Ashkel showing Parshas for Roshei Chodshechem Shachris Achar, so Parshas Satomim. So it's in the Sidurim in Karbonos. As far as Eno Gimel in the Sephardic communities, they don't say you shall see the cross up and say Torah. So you're going to read in the Sefer Torah. But Dafka Shabbos Omrim Suke B'Yom Shabbos. Specifically on Shabbos, we say on Shabbos during Kabbalah. They shouldn't call it Shabbos with Torah because that's not lane in the Torah on Shabbos. But Shenkin Rosh Chodesh, supposed to Chodesh Dam Liyontav. It's similar to Yontav She'emri Machar Tomid Musfei Yontav. We don't say after the Tomid in Korbanos the Musafa Yontav. They should call it Torah because it's going to lane them. Bachanam Rosh Chodesh. It'll be the case of Rosh Chodesh as well. Tam Ashkenaz, why the Ashkenaz do it? If I ask him, she Rosh Chodesh. Or the publicized it's Chodesh Chodesh. Yontav Nikar Me'asu Yontav. Yontav, you know already from the last night that it's Yontav. Rosh Chodesh and Nikar Klav. Rosh Chodesh is not recognized at night. There's no cognition in the night of Rosh Chodesh. You can Lishkoch Lamar Yala B'Yavo Tefillah. You can forget to say Yala Yavo. If we mention everything, including Rosh Chodesh, wherever mention Rosh Chodesh in davening before Shema Esrei, hopefully we'll remember then to say Yalav Yava. Tavcha Beis, say that Tefillah B'Hala Rosh Chodesh, the order of the davening and of Hala on Rosh Chodesh. Aleph, Rosh Chodesh, Arvis Shachris, Mincha V'Sal Yudches Brachas, Omer Yalav Yava. Oshman essays on Rosh Chodesh, you say Yalav Yava. Shamash Machriz Ba'arvis Achad Kaddish Yalav Yava. The Shamash announces between Kaddish and the Shemana say that there's Yalav Yava. The love have sick. It's not to be have sick. It's because it's a necessity of davening. Sharatin says specifically between Kaddish and Shemana say, but it's in because Kriya Shema or even Bein Broken, you can't be mafsik to say Yalav Yava. Vim lo amar b'shachris mincha. If you didn't say Yalav Yava by shachris or by mincha, Machzirno, so we make you go back. Maybe Yom Rishon, maybe Yom Sheni, whether it's the first day or second day of Rosh Chodesh. Virus im Machzirno, so and by Mar we don't make you go back. Maybe Yom Rishon, maybe Yom Sheni, whether it's the first or second night. Because don't say Kiddush HaChodesh at night. Don't sanctify the new moon at night. So therefore, even if you just completed Machzir Shchen also Tzion. Lo Yamar, you shouldn't say it anymore. Once you finish Chanei Adalas, you shouldn't say it. Shachris Mincha Shesiyam Adayim Lo Yiskel B'Modim Or Mosham. The Shachris Mincha, if you finished Machzir Shchen Sol Tzion, but instead start Modim, say Yalav Yavo there. If I ask Kamali, you still start Modim. This Kakom Shishlim. If you lost your remember before you complete davening, Chazor Ritzei. Go back to Ritzei. Bim Lo Nizkar Shishlim. If you lost, you don't remember until you complete davening. Then a Chazor Rosh after the reach Esrei. After Bishlok Raglav Adain, even though you haven't yet taken 3 steps back. Shmuel says if you didn't finish Machzir Shnas Tzir, just said Baruch Atah Hashem, it's best to say Lamdeni Chukecha, in order that it shouldn't be Shen Shmai Batola, and then you say Yalav Yava, and immediately afterwards say the Sechazena over again. Base in Raglam Tachnunim Machar Tefillah. So if you normally say supplications after your davening, such as all kind of Torah, cause my shlosim tachnunim, as long as you haven't completed those tachnunim, lo mikreishin tefillot, it's not considered that you finish your davening. Uksheshlim tachnunim, you finish those supplications. Abi shlo akar raglav adayin, even though you haven't taken steps back yet. Mikreishin tefillot, it's considered that you finish your davening because you should go back to the beginning. Yeshu tefillot madin zeh tachnunim madif. Those who want to say that in this respect, the tachnunim are superior in the sense that even though you complete supplication, close my shlo akar raglav because of Ritzei. As long as you haven't moved your legs, you go back to Ritzei only. Time shouldn't increase the tachnunim. The reason is because there's no set amount of supplications to say. You can say more and more tachnunim. So, okay, you hear mafsik, but, you could say then another line tachnunim. They'd be back in the middle, right? Even though you don't normally say more than you just said, you could say more. It's difficult to say. As long as you distract yourself from davening anymore, mikre akaragav is called the same thing as having uprooted your legs from the spot. Near totally by me, it's yiratza. That has to do with saying you would from my feet. If you're accustomed to say yiratza after the tachnunim, or you only say tachnunim, I have to say yiratza. It's not considered to be that you uprooted your legs. And after you say it, it's called akar, even though you didn't actually move your legs. It's Rava Machzi. The shekel was a fact fake. he says, Dati Lama. The Shekel was unclear about this. I don't know why not. Why it was. The Chenish Rosh and Rosh says, Pashkins Halach Lamaisa. That has to do with the Yerotza. Back in the bracket says, Arvish Kusam, which is the Maxi Shnos Tzil and Loyer Meno. As you said that by Marib. You should not go back to repeat it. What did not feeling Makama Brucha to Hashem? He argues in the Mishnah Berurah. He said, you say, Lamdeni Chukecha. No, doesn't argue. He brings it down. And then he argues. Yesh Loma, Yesh Mishomar, Shomar Lamdeni Chukecha. Yoma Yalav Yavo Ayin Shari Tshuva B'Shtiv Kadal V'Lo Nehira. It doesn't seem to be so he argues in Mishnah here says something. It doesn't seem to be a clear way of doing things. Yeah. So V'Chein Kosav Shari Tshuva Shem Ma'amar Mordechai. So he's not in favor of Lamdeni Chukecha. Mishnah says when he says if you start with Sechazena. Even if you finish on Maxi Shnos Tzion, just start it. You don't go back to say Yalav Yavo. Kimmel. That's at night, of course. Kimmel. Elsi Mekuv Chavav. He's barish the Shlir Tibur Shachal Ma Yalav Yavo Chazor the shots. Ein Maxi Noso. If Shlir Tibur forgot to say Yalav Yavo in his Chazor, he don't make go back and he Torah Tibur because it's not much shriach. Don't want to put the community to that such a strain. The Vishat Tfilas Musaf of Vishat Tfilas Musaf of the fun of Shabbos. Anyway, it's going to match Rosh Chodesh and Musaf. Next tefillah, I show. Please say you die. Come Gdolim. So when the Sebek Gdolim inferred the Yachid Shlo Amar Yalav Yov B'Shachris. When it's called Arukh HaShulchan, the individual did not say Yalav Yov in the morning, but didn't remember until after Musaf. And Tzarech Lev. So his Paul Shachris doesn't have to go back and daven again, which actually is the Psak of Reb Chaim Brisker. Because Shachris says seem only by the Shachris. Mincha didn't match Yalav Yov, and then afterwards daven Musaf. Doesn't work because I guess Musaf and Mincha are not linked the same way Shachris and Mincha are linked. Okay, but back to Arukh HaShulchan. The lo yekach yachi garua b'di'evet mishal shliach tzibur l'chadchila. The prerogative of an individual should not be worse in the situation of b'di'evet than it is from shliach tzibur in a case of l'chadchila. V'chein ira lo kein ein maksin oso. Okay, says Arukh HaShulchan halacha l'maisa. Person daven Musaf, he should not go back. And for that, Yalav Yov and Shachris should not go back. Chaim's psak was more far-reaching. Chaim said even if you're holding before Musaf, you still go and go back because you're going to daven Musaf. Arukh HaShulchan is saying only if you're ready daven Musaf, then remember you don't go back. It says Mincha Shtaim Achas Chayva Shnei. What if the situation arose and you want to cover all bases and say two Shmoneses by Mincha? Sorry. You having the Tfilas Dava you can do, but he has to mind the second one is the Tfilas Dava because we're not sure he's required to say that one. Vim Amar Lispab Musaf Tosho Shons is Kash Shach Yalav Yov Shachris. If you stood up to daven Musaf, you're holding by Musaf, and within the first three brachas, you remembered you forgot Yalav Yov Shachris. Yisrael Shosh Shon is a good, interesting patent. You finish the first three brachas. Yes, no tochonek. Marat tefillah shachris chachris b'musaf. So Rosh Hashanah says quite explicitly that you should go back, and if it's before musaf, and even if you start a musaf, but you still do the first three brachas where the shmoneh can go either way, then you do repeat the shmoneh in the morning. Not sure if you mentioned Yalav Yov or not. So then, Ein Tzarech Lazor doesn't have to go back. This is astonishing. I mean, the certainly didn't say it because it's custom not to say it. And they rejected this Ramah because of the Pasuk Klausen. They say have to go back. Near becoming also, but Arukh HaShulchan wants to justify the Ramah. It means if you didn't know that being again that means there's Chodesh, or feel Yada, or even if you knew Rakshmei Saschos, Shmona said Lolo Daito Cloud, Shoshchesham, but when he started Shmona, he wasn't thinking there's Chodesh today. There's no question he has to go back. But at the beginning of Shmona, he knew it was Chodesh. And after he finished davening, it that knowledge evacuated itself from his heart. So this guy doesn't remember him on Yalav Yov. If he said Yalav Yov, Im Lav or not, in that case, he'll go back. The call of Yosef Shomar. It's more likely he did say it. Before that, he knew it was Chodesh. Then call of Yosef Shomar. Therefore, it's more likely he said the Chen Ikar Ladina. and this is an important fact, which is that if you have a doubt, but the odds are good that you said he will not go back, and the Mishnah does not agree. The Mishnah says no. Almost all of them argue, and they hold the suffix. You have to go back because we assume that you did not say it because you done like you are accustomed every day. But now that we have the Arukh HaShulchan in front of us, suffix brachas lahakel. So therefore, in the case of doubt, one should actually not go back if there is a tzad that you said it as a good tzad. Again, circumstances with Arukh HaShulchan being that you remembered and earlier there was Rosh Chodesh, you shouldn't go back. Big enough communal lemaisa. Hey, the das Rashi says so perik dal brachos. Yachin misbah with tzibur v'shachar yalav an individual davens in with the tzibur and forgot yalav yismach al tefillah sashatz. You can line the tefillah of the chazan. Ayin sham. Because the two lashon gemara l'mashakain doesn't stand away from the gemara lashon gemara million dina. Badi yishmoch mochas that you only can rely on this. Being biodesh yochol l'chav and yishmoch kochas sashatz yishma with this only if you know that you can be mechavein and hear kochas sashatz. Yishma v'yafsik, you can hear and then not interrupt. For Rakiyana Ome, V'yossi only answers Ome, not more than that. V'yotza b'zeh. With that, it's very rare that a person actually can have such kavanah nowadays. Vav hal b'rosh chodesh eina ela minhag v'lo medina. The hal b'rosh chodesh is a custom; it's not a law. The hal medina eina ela b'yom tov v'chanukah b'yomim shenasu nisim yeshuos. The halacha of halal is only by Yom Tov and Chanukah and days in which miraculous salvations occurred. But the minute say how much Chodesh is also because it's the time of the Gemara. But Gonim Amru Remez, the Gonim had a hint to this. Mizmar Achron, in the last Mizmar it says Haluk Kapitel Kufnun Haluk Kel B'Kodsho. Praise God in His holiness. He has Yud Beis Pa'amim Halal Keneged Yud Beis Chodoshim. It says there Halal 12 times corresponding to the 12 months of the year. And the reason I say Kol Neshama Tahallel twice, which it's a good reason, I don't know if everyone knows, that corresponds to a leap month. That's Beis Yosef. The main reason when it says Hallel on Rosh Chodesh seems to be because since we see the moon renewing itself, like we say by Kiddush Labana, therefore it's somewhat of a salvation. But I mean, the customs became to say Hallel. Brackets he says, well, this question was 12 doesn't work out. It's only 13 because in Rosh Chodesh Tishrei we don't say Hallel. It's Rosh Hashanah and Sham. No kasha klal. It's not difficult. The Kavanas Hagoyim, the Rosh Chodesh yesh hilul v'duk. Rosh Chodesh, it's not that you're saying necessarily Hallel, but there's a hilul. Praise on Rosh Chodesh. Zion became a day sheinu el minhag b'amos. It's only minhag. Became a dalkin bo. Therefore we skip lo lono and v'ahavti. Leker kenu chovot to recognize that it's not obligatory. That's Rashi v'Ram Shlo Baruch Alav Klal. You don't make a brach on it. Maybe Yochid ben Mitzibur, whether you're an individual or even in a community. Marif nir shatzim baruch lo yochid. Rif seems to say that the community makes a bracha, but not an individual. Ve'eretz Yisrael b'tzvil seah nogin karashi v'Rambam me'en baruch lo b'tchil lo b'seif. Not anymore, but once upon a time, in Eretz Yisrael, then they make a bracha not at the beginning, not at the end, as is the shita of the Rashi and the Rambam. That's Rabbi Tam's, but Tosfos brachas. Rabbi Tam's opinion is that even individual, not part of a tzibur, can make a bracha. There's some minhagim which make brachas. That is the prevalent minhag in our countries. We make the brachas both the beginning of end of Hallel on Rosh Chodesh.